Hello everyone, welcome back. Thank you for joining us on the Live Unreal with Glover U podcast, where every week Jeff Glover will dive deep into the questions that you are asking. He understands the challenges you are facing on a day-to-day basis because he still works every day on the front lines of real estate, with him and his team closing over 1,000 homes per year. On this episode, we'll go over step 18 in the Glover U sales system, leverage. In this step, you'll learn from Jeff the 3 key rules to leverage your real estate business. Now, let's hear from Jeff Glover on step 18 in the 20 steps of the Glover U sales system.
Step number 18 in the Glover U sales system, leverage. Step number 18, leverage. So, for most agents, I have agents come to me, they get busy, or they work with our coaching clients. Hey, I'm selling 36 homes. I think I'm ready for an assistant. Okay, how did you arrive at that? Well, it just seems like I'm working like crazy, and I've heard that if I want to go to the next level, I need an assistant. Well, there's definitely some truth to that, no doubt. Let's take a look at why you feel that you're overwhelmed on 3 deals per month, because that's really what it is. And in most cases, what we work with agents to do is to help them get to 40 or 50 without an assistant. Because it's usually around 30 to 40 transactions. Now, if you're part of a team, you can probably do 50 or 60 without an assistant, which of course is one of the benefits of being affiliated. But if you're on your own, you're responsible for all your other stuff, you're probably getting around 30, 35 units before you're ready to hire an assistant or hire us, and we'll show you how to get to 50 without hiring one. So let's just pretend that number is 50 units. And in our organization, that's when we start talking to agents about, hey, it might be time for you to hire an assistant if you want to go from 50 to 75. Now, if you want to just continue doing 50, there's no need to. There's 3 pieces of leverage in a successful real estate business. I'll share those with you now. Number 1 is the executive assistant, or what I would call transaction management operations side of the business. And for most of us, we can get to 75 to 100 transactions personally with one executive assistant. And the executive assistant's job is really twofold. Number 1, to keep you on schedule. Executive assistant's job is really twofold. Number 1, keep you on schedule. And number 2, take all administration off your plate. Number 1, keep you on schedule. Number 2, take all administration off your plate. And by the way, when I say keep you on schedule, I'll give you an example. And this has been going on for years. You have a scheduled appointment every morning with your executive assistant when you're ready to hire one. The executive assistant comes in with 1 sheet of paper, and it's got 5 things on it. And on that sheet of paper is a list of things that you need to do or people that you need to call. Right? I say 5 because I know I'll probably forget all 5, but I know for a fact one of them is leads to follow up with. The second one is customer service calls. This is on that sheet of paper. Leads to follow up with, customer service calls, co-op agent calls, congratulations calls, congratulating clients on closings, congratulating them on things, and appointments to pre-qualify. I think those are all 5. And so each day, the executive assistant sits down and says, okay, these are the 5 things that you need to do right now, so that way everything else will fall into place the rest of the day. I get the question a lot, well, I know I should probably hire an executive assistant, but that's like a $35,000 or a $45,000 or a $40,000 or whatever the number is expense. Okay, right, but if you do the math, if you're at 50 today and you go to 75, I'm pretty sure no matter what split you're on, it's going to be a net in your pocket, and oh, by the way, you're going to get more time back. Because that's what will happen. You add an executive assistant when you're ready, you will add 25 transactions to your business. There's no question. Because they take so much off your plate, so that way you have more time to be productive. Now here's the asterisk, where the asterisk comes in. And this is why we find a lot of agents, when they get to a certain level, either don't hire or have no interest in hiring an executive assistant because they're fine with what's going on. Because they know deep down they're not going to use that extra time wisely. They're not going to be more productive with that extra time. So why am I going to take on this expense when I know I'm not going to add an extra hour of lead generation? I know I'm not going to go on an extra appointment every single day, which is fine. And at some point I'll say, okay, well, let's figure out a way to get you from 40 transactions to 55 without adding an assistant. And oh, by the way, it's usually we find it in the schedule. It's almost always, 99.9% of the time, unless it's a personal issue or a health issue, it's their time management skills. So that's one hire. The other hire that's important to a successful real estate business in our world is the showing agent. The showing agent model. If you're an agent that is a part of a team that doesn't use the showing agent model, or you're a solo agent and can't afford a showing agent, go find an agent in the office. Struggling agent, new agent, whatever, that could use some extra money. The highest producers in our system don't show homes anymore. They've made the decision that they're going to be more productive with their time. And we teach a very profitable showing agent model, profitable to the showing agent and profitable to the OSAs. I think the first, I don't know, it was the first or second year we had a showing agent. Her name's Kelly McHenry. She was the first showing agent in our company to make over $100,000 as a showing agent. Now, she worked her butt off, so it wasn't easy. It's not like, oh, I just get to show homes and make $100,000. That's awesome. Where do I sign up? It was a grind. But for the most part, most of our agents understand the value of listing property and selling a lot of homes to buyers without showing homes. And is there a financial setback for every single time you use a showing agent? 100%. Somebody's got to pay them to show homes. But do you close more business because of it? Always. And I tell a lot of our agents, especially our male agents who aren't maybe the most excited or enthusiastic about showing property, I'm telling you, you will sell more you will have more buyer sales when you use one of the showing agents. I can speak firsthand. I never did more than 20, 25 buyer sales a year. Probably the consumers could tell I was disinterested in showing homes, probably looking at my watch. Oh, cool, yeah, another house. Yeah, nice chandelier, awesome. All right, you guys ready for the next one? I mean, I didn't get excited about the process. I was thinking about the next listing appointment I should be on. Instead, I'm out showing homes at 9 o'clock on a Tuesday night on Halloween. What the heck? So I know that I lost a lot of buyer business because I was involved in that process. Well, I can tell you that same year that our first showing agent had that banner year, I went from 22, 23 buyer sales to maybe 40, 41, somewhere in that range, without doing anything different. Well, how did you do that? Did I prospect more? Nope. I had the same amount of buyers, had the same amount of listings. Her conversion was higher than mine. She was better at showing homes than I was, so the buyers wanted to stick around and buy from us. So now we think, well, I'm great at showing homes. I have rapport with the client. Why would I ruin that? I'm the best for the job. What else could you be doing productive with your time? Finding more buyers or listing property? Because that's the other thing. We have some agents that just say, gosh, but I really love working with buyers. Awesome. You want to double your buyer business? You want to go from 24 closed buyer transactions to 48 and only work with buyers, never list a property again, never show a house again. And if the market continues to get softer, as we're seeing, of course it'll have ups and downs, the value of the showing agent actually increases. Why is that? Well, because the buyers become less urgent and they want to see more homes, which means as an agent that works with a lot of buyers, I'm going to be viewing more property with buyers, which causes me to be less productive in other areas. Yeah, but they take 25% of my commission. Okay, well, let's do some quick math. If you can add a couple buyer transactions a month or one buyer transaction a month or double your buyer business and get more of your time back for other things, pretty sure it's worth it. Because you can't just calculate what you have to give to a showing agent. You have to calculate what you gain on the other end, not even on the buyer side. You might have been able to take an extra 6, 8, 10, 15 listings this year because you weren't busy showing homes. You just happened to be available to go list a property or run into somebody that wanted to list your house because you were doing proper lead follow-up. So the first key role to a successful real estate business is an executive assistant. If you want to sell at a high level, meaning 50, 60 transactions or more, it's crucial to that part. Or if you're part of a team that does a lot of transaction management for you, it might not be required. You might be able to do 60, 70, 80 transactions without an executive assistant. But if that's not the model of the business that you're involved in, then you'd have to hire an executive assistant. Number 2 was a showing agent. And number 3, my all-time favorite, the inside sales model. The inside sales model, which is essentially someone that is back at the office or a team of people that is back at the office generating leads, prospecting for an OSA team or prospecting for you to generate more opportunities so you can go out and present more and get more contracts signed. When I think about the JGA system, this is just stuff we do, right? The Glover U sales system is just the culmination of everything that we've been doing. We just package it in a way where people could take advantage of it and implement it as well. So the inside sales model, also known as the telemarketer, prospector, whatever, generally in most states, I know in Michigan, they have to be licensed, and their role is to make outbound calls to sellers. Now I hear all the time, well, wait a minute, I heard about this ISA model that handles all the incoming buyer leads. I heard about this ISA model that makes outbound calls to buyer leads. What are you talking about? They only make outbound calls to sellers. If you give an inside sales associate the option of calling sellers or buyers, which one do you think they'll be more likely to call? Buyers. Friendlier, easier. Oh, you want to see a house? Great. I got a lead for you. Doesn't work that way when you're talking to sellers. There's a reason why, although it's not the same today because the listing inventory is low, but we had several months in 2016, 15, 14, 15, 16, where we were taking 120, 130 listings a month because of the results of our ISA team. Of course, the advertising helped that as well, but the ISA team, it made their job a lot easier when we started advertising. But their focus is only sellers. Well, why do you make their focus only sellers? Because our OSAs know they have the knowledge of the neighborhoods, they have the knowledge of the zones that they're working, they know about properties, they've been in them, they know what's going on in the market. Those can go to the agents. But we focus on generating seller opportunities for our agents so that way they can go out and take more listings and, oh, by the way, leads to more buyer transactions, of course, naturally. Never understood why teams focus on having ISAs do both.
Thank you for taking your time to join Jeff today on the Live Unreal with Glover U podcast. To take the real estate self-assessment that begins the Glover U sales system and have a member of Glover U get on a call with you to create an action plan to improve your score, go to www.gloveru.com/self. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe. Search for Live Unreal with Glover U on iTunes, Podbean, or Spotify, and subscribe today. Until next time, remember, what else could you be doing to be more productive with your time?